What's up with Giancarlo? Hey everybody, you guys are watching a Giancarlo original. Right now we're going over CLT, or combining like terms, distributive property, and factors. So let's get started. So the first one, we've got negative V minus 10V. So we are trying to combine like terms. As of now, we see that this V, let's separate them. We see this V is to the power of 1, and this V is to the power of 1. Okay? So we have a negative V minus 10V. They're both negatives, so we're going to add them both together. So I'm going to get negative V plus negative 10V. There's always an imaginary 1 in front of a variable if there's nothing there. So my answer is going to be negative 11V. Moving on to the next one. I've got negative 5R minus 5R. Okay, this pertains to the same one as before. I've got a negative 5R minus 5R. The R is raised to the first power. This R is raised to the first power. They are like terms. So I'm going to be able to add them both. And then I'm just going to get 5 plus 5 is 10. They're both negative. So negative 10R. Next question. This is a little bit longer, but not much. I've got 1 plus 6x plus 6x plus 8. So if you want, you can separate all the terms. I like to start off with variables first. So I get an x to the first power and an x to the first power. So they are like terms. So I've got 6x plus 6x. 6 plus 6 is 12. And then the x goes along. So I've got 12x. And then 1 plus 8 equals 9. And that's positive because they're both positive. So my answer is 12x plus 9. Next problem. So now we're moving into the distributive property. We've got 5 and then parentheses negative 9x minus 4. So what we want to do is we want to distribute the 5 to the negative 9x and then to the negative 4. Okay? So I get 5 times negative 9, which is negative 45. The x comes along. And then 5 minus 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So you read it as negative 45x minus 20, but you count it as a negative 4. Okay? Perfect. This is your answer. You're done. There are no like terms, so you cannot combine like terms to make this any smaller. Next problem. I've got a negative outside the parentheses and then a b minus 10. So I'm going to distribute the negative to the b and to the negative 10. So negative times b would be negative b, and then negative times negative 10 would be positive 10. That is your answer because there are no like terms to simplify any farther. Moving on to the next problem. So we've got negative 2 and then the parentheses n plus 1. So once again, we are just distributing this negative 2, the number on the outside, is multiplying by each term on the inside. So I've got negative 2 times n, negative 2n. Negative 2 times 1, 2 times 1 is 2, it's a negative, negative 2. Easy as cake. Okay? That is your answer. No like terms to simplify. Done and done. Next problem. Getting a little tougher because it's adding more terms in. We've got -8, then parentheses k minus 7, then minus 7k. I'm going to distribute, and I get -8k, and then going to distribute -8 to the -7. 8 times 7 is 56. Two negatives multiplying is positive, so positive 56, and then I've got minus 7k. Since they are both negatives, it's basically adding them together, okay? So 8 plus 7 is 15k, and they're both negative, so it's negative 15k plus 56. Bada bing, bada boom, you got your answer. No more like terms, okay? Next problem. We've got 6 parentheses n minus 3 minus 8n. So this is minus 8n, class. We're not trying to multiply anything else by negative 8n. That is a minus sign. So we distribute the 6 to the n to get 6n. Then we distribute the 6 to the -3 and get -18. Then we bring the -8n minus 8n down. So 6n minus 8n, you would do 8n minus 6n, get 2n, and then keep the sign of the bigger number. So we're going to get -2n minus 18. That is your final answer because there are no more like terms. You're just done with that problem. Moving on, we've got -8 minus 2 parentheses 8 minus 5r. So we're going to distribute. This counts as a -2. -2 to 8 would be going to copy down this -8. We get -8, and then -2 times 8 would be 16, -16 minus 16. Then I'm going to distribute the -2 to the -5r. So negative multiplying, 2 times 5 is 10, so it's positive 10r. So -8 plus -16, we're going to get 10r because variable goes first, minus 16 and 8 is 24. So this is the final answer. No like terms, you're done. Giddy up to the next problem. We've got -8 plus 7 parentheses 4n plus 2. Once again, distribution problem. I'm going to distribute the 7 to the 4n, copy down my -8. 7 times 4 is 28, n comes along, and then I'm going to multiply the 7 times the positive 2 to get plus 14. Bring down the 28n, and then I'm doing 14 minus 8, which is 6, and the 14 is a bigger number, so we keep the plus sign. This is my final answer. No more like terms. So it's simplified all the way that we can get it. More combining like terms. So we've got x squared plus 12x minus 23 minus 5x plus 47 plus 3x squared. So I would suggest you split up your terms so you can really see them. Let's look for the x squareds. I've got an x squared and an x squared. Okay, they're both same variable raised to the same power. So they are like terms. So I've got x squared plus 3x squared. That's going to equal 4x squared. So I'm going to write that here, 4x squared. I'm going to go to x's next. I've got x to the first power, x to the first power. So I've got 12x, positive 12x, minus 5x. 12 minus 5 is 7. X comes along. You're just dealing with the coefficients. Okay? So that's positive. So plus 7x. Then I'm going to deal with the constants. I've got a negative 23 and a 47. I'm going to put the higher number first and just subtract 47, 23. I'm going to get 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. And that's positive because the bigger number is positive. So plus 24. There are no more like terms. This is my final answer. Another distribution problem. We've got just the negative on the outside of the parentheses, 7x plus 8y. Okay? Distributing the negative to the 7x, negative 7x. Distributing the negative to the 8y, minus 8y, negative 8y. Boom. Whoop, there it is. Got it. Okay? That is your problem. Different variables, they are not like terms. You cannot combine them. Okay? Now we've got another combining like terms. We've got 4x plus 6 minus 2 plus 8x minus 13y. Okay? So, you want to see your terms? You see 4x and 8x. 4x plus 8x. 4 plus 8 is 12. X comes along. We got 12x. I see a y. That's another variable, so we're going to go with the y. I don't see any other y's, so we just bring it down. Minus 13y. Then we've got two constants. We've got a 6 and a negative 2. 6 minus 2, 4. So plus 4. Different variables, constant. Okay. No like terms. Boom, you're done. Okay? Moving along. We've got 13 parentheses x plus 4y minus 10x plus 6y. So we've got 13 multiplying by x, distributing to x, that's 13x. Then we've got 13 distributing to 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so put the 2 there, and then carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1, that's 5, that's 52. So we've got 52y. Then we just write out the rest of our problem. Now we're just combining like terms. X's, I've got 13x minus 10x. 13x minus 10x. 13 minus 10, I've got 3x. So I write down my 3x. 52y plus 6y. I get 58y. That's positive, so plus 58y. And that is your answer. All done, no like terms, because this is x, this is y, different variables. Now we get into factors. We're going to work on some GCFs. GCF, that stands for greatest common factors. Okay? So you guys are, I'm going to give you guys two numbers, and then we're going to list out the factors, and then we're going to figure out which factor is the greatest between them, okay? So two numbers are 15 and 45. So for 15, I've got 1 2 does not go in it. 3 goes into it. 4 does not go into it. Okay, 3 times 5, that's 15. So I've got 1, 3, 5, and 15. Those are all the factors. For 45, I've got 1. 2 does not go into 45. I've got 3. I've got 5. And then 5 times 9 is 45. 3 times 15 is 45. And then 1 times 45 is 45. So they have 1 in common, they have 3 in common, they have 5 in common, and they have 15 in common. 15 is the greatest common factor that they have between them. If you notice, you cannot have a greatest common factor bigger than the smaller number out of the two. Okay? The biggest number it could possibly be is the smaller number. So keep that in mind, class. Next two numbers I'm going to give 40 and 56. So for 40, we've got 1, we've got 2, 3 does not go into 40, we've got 4, we've got 5, 6 does not go into 40, neither does 7. 5 times 8 is 40. 4 times 10 is 40. 2 times 20 is 40. And 1 times 40 is 40. Now, 56. We've got 1, 2 goes into 56. We've got 4. And then we've got 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 4 times 14 is 56. 2 times 28 is 56. And then 1 times 56 is 56. So we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 4, we've got 8, and that's it. So the greatest common factor is 8 between 40 and 56. Next problem. We've got 18 and 39. So for 18, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, no 4, no 5. 3 times 6 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18, and then 1 times 18 is 18. For 39, we've got 1, not 2, we've got 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10. So 3 times 13 is 39, and 1 times 39 is 39. So we've got 1 and we've got 3. Those are the only two. So obviously 3 is the GCF. So for the next problem, you're just going to list the factors of 30. All right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 3 times 10 is 30. 2 times 15 is 30. And then 1 times 30 is 30. That will get you a check mark, okay? Those are all the factors of 30. Then we move on to the factors of 56, which we've already done already, so we should know. Factors of 56. We've got 1. We've got 2. and then 7, and 7 times 8 is 56. 4 times 14 is 56. 2 times 28 is 56. And 1 times 56 is 56. So I hope this helped everybody out. And if you're watching, you're a part of the class. Have a nice day.